Hi, I'm Edie, and I'm coming to you today with a video on how to make unleavened bread. And I hope you can use this recipe and this time together with your family to enrich your Holy Week celebration. So, of course, unleavened bread is what we used for Holy Communion. And at the Last Supper, which was during Passover, they were commemorating the Israelites coming out of Egypt. So this is an excellent time to bake with your children and to share these Bible stories with them. It's great because it's tangible, it's hands-on, there's great smells, and how great would it be if when your children smell bread baking, they think about the story of the Israelites coming out of Egypt, or they think about the things that you've taught them about Holy Communion. That would just be a really great experience for all of you. So I've looked at a bunch of recipes and ended up just creating my own. And I'll put the recipe in the comment of this video. And Pastor Ben will also be sending out an email that includes the recipe, preparation, as well as prayers that you could do at each step of the preparation. So we're going to start with 1 cup of flour, and I have 2 tablespoons of honey and a 1/2 cup of warm water in here. Warm water is key, or else the honey will want to congeal and it'll be very difficult to mix it in. And then I'm also going to add a tablespoon of oil. And the addition of the oil is actually inspired by the story of Elijah and the widow, where she made him a cake of bread. And during the famine, her flour and her oil never ran out. So we're just gonna go ahead and mix this together. And it should just come together as a nice dough. It's a little sticky right now. You might need to add a little bit more flour, but we are gonna do some kneading. And so that's another way that you could incorporate some more flour without gunking up your hands too much. Okay, so we've got a nice dough ball there. So I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of flour on our work surface. And we'll turn out the ball of dough onto the flour. A little bit more on top. Now this is a rather small recipe because chances are in your house, unless you're making this for your church to use in their observance of Holy Communion, you probably just are not gonna need that much. So this is a rather small loaf, but I think it'll be more than plenty for your needs. And so when you're making this isn't necessarily for at-home communion. This is really just to enhance your experience and your commemoration of Maundy Thursday and of Holy Week. So just give it a good knead right there. Beautiful. So we've got this nice dough ball, and then we're gonna start flattening it out. A little more flour. So you're just gonna flatten, and then after it's sufficiently flattened, we're gonna score it so that it's easier to take apart once it's baked. And so there's so many times that your kiddos can get involved and help out in this process, which of course will just spark their interest even more. It's a great time for storytelling, for talking about Holy Week. If your children are confirmation age or preparing for their first communion, this is a really great time to talk about all of those things. Okay, so we've got this nice flat disc. I'm gonna grab a knife and score it. You can score it however you like. But this would be in the event that, you're making it for communion at church, that it can be easily broken and everybody can have semi-equal pieces. So of course you can get as fancy as you want. And I actually started making unleavened bread a number of years ago for St. Paul's to enhance their observance of Maundy Thursday, because the wafers that we typically use, it's like 2 bites and you're done. But with unleavened bread, you've got to work at it. And the whole time you're working at it, you're dealing with why you need communion and why Jesus instituted communion in the first place. Okay, almost finished. And then once the bread is scored, I'm going to put it onto a baking sheet and put it into an oven that is heated at 350 degrees for about 20 to 25 minutes. Okay, and I actually have a baked loaf right here. You can see I did a similar pattern. And so it just easily breaks off. You want it to lighten in color. You've got a really nice color on the bottom, but even on the top, you've got a nice brownie. You don't want it to be raw. Of course, you do need it to be somewhat cooked. And then you can just break it off and enjoy it as a snack. While it's baking, that's a great time to talk to your children about these Bible stories. It's a great time if you are not baking with kids to meditate on these Bible stories, to get out your Bible and reread these Bible stories, to pray. Like I mentioned earlier, Pastor Ben will email out some instructions with the recipe as well as some prayers that you can pray at every step. But it's a really nice time to just have some quiet time and to really meditate and dig into your observance of Holy Week. So I hope you enjoy, and I hope it enhances your Maundy Thursday.